Abigail, Future Fast Global CEO, Kevin Hughes, and Wangari, who is the communication and alumni relations expert, a very valuable member and colleague of Pauline in Kenya. You give your closing remarks on how the experience was.
Yes, thanks for staying for this long. It's been an amazing day. I had fun, and I hope you all did. And yeah, just after this, we'll do a quick coffee break. But before then, I'll recap my session. I was doing volunteer management. And I think with the first group, we were just like 20 people who were trying to start an alumni association or just bring 2 members to start. And I think the question was with numbers. If I want to start, how many people do I start with? At what time do we call ourselves an alumni association? And I think the conversation was, if you really want to start, you just need to get 1 more person or 1, 2, 3 people close of your friends to go. There's also the conversation if you look through the list of your school and there's a notable alumni you can engage, that would be also an entry point. Also, just before we closed, we had a conversation on, with Jared. Okay, in instances where the school administration is not open to the conversation. And I think the conclusion was, it's a process. You don't go the first day and you want to be in the board, yeah? It's like when the example given was when you're romancing a girl. You don't meet the first time, you want their number and to take them for dinner. There's a process. So in case you're trying to engage with the school, go the first time, say, hey, I'm back, it's been a while. Go the second time with a gift, butter them up. Without this school, I wouldn't be the person I've been. And also, it's also important to note from that group that you're dealing with other human beings. So if you have selfish interest, from the moment you enter that room, they can read that too. So the thing is to remember, they have their own personal interest and you have yours. So that whole process and managing expectation and treating them like, they're custodian of that school and the issue of respect. So thank you very much, and I'll hand over to Abby.
Thank you. I did the session on alumni movement, and this was around, well, it's about a couple of different things really, but I think the key to it was we don't want all the conversations and all the exciting stories and experience from everyone in the room today to be the last of that conversation. And so how do we take those conversations and take the challenges that everyone has and share them and continue that conversation? And so one of the things that we did in our session, in both sessions, was to write a list of some of the key challenges that each of the individuals in the room had faced around their alumni community. And unsurprisingly, there were a lot of crossovers. I think a lot of people had felt the same challenges, except one of the issues is that often when you're in the middle of that challenge and you're struggling with just trying to think of some of them, the power struggle with administration, or you're struggling with keeping up the momentum, or many of the other things that you mentioned, it's very easy to feel overwhelmed and disheartened because you feel like you're the only person in the middle of that. And so what we discussed was how do we turn that into community solution finding? And one of the things that I've asked everyone in my group to do is to join the website, which is www.alumni.guru, which is GURU, which is a platform that we've developed as an organization to do exactly that, to bring people together, to share their challenges and to ask questions of other schools and other communities around the world. So that's what I've asked all of our groups to do, and I'm going to be taking pictures of all of the challenges and posting them on Monday, and hoping that from Monday we'll all be able to start feeding into those and problem solving together. Thank you. I'm now going to hand over to Wangari to talk about giving back.
Okay. Good afternoon to those of you who we haven't interacted with during the day. Wangari, I handle communications and alumni relations at Future First. And if you need to engage us, feel free to reach us on info@futurefirst.co.ke. I'll just talk briefly about giving back in terms of the session that we had. So we started by saying, if you're going to give back, it has to make sense to you. it has to be something that you're able to do. It has to be something that you're able to feed into, or something that you're able to excellently do without feeling a pain, because once it becomes a pain, then you're not able to do that again. So first point was identifying how you stand to gain, or also how you stand to give back to the school in terms of how does it align with your needs, how does it align with what you're going to get out of giving back to the school. The other thing was also identifying who do you want to give back to as an alumni. You can either give back to the school, you can either give back to the students, you can either give back to a fellow alumni. So identifying if you want to give back as an alumni, where do you want to start by giving back? So if it's to the fellow alumni, is maybe a jobless alumni, helping them find a job. If it's to a student, they need that mentorship, that piece of advice that you have, that once you left school, you've become this, or when you were in school, you were this, and now you're this. So that piece of advice that they don't have. If it's alumni to the school may need to fundraise for a few projects. So helping the school fundraise on those projects. So understanding where exactly you fall. The other thing was identifying the needs of the schools or the students that you want to speak to. So then you're not just doing a blind project based on your needs, but also giving back to a project that makes sense to the school. Like, for instance, in my former school, we gave back books, but the school already had books that are not being read. So that was not a feasible project. But if we were to do it again, we'll look for something that the school already needs, not something that we feel that the school needs, but the school already has in plenty. The other thing is, as an alumni, you're bound to get many challenges in terms of your giving back process. So just be prepared. It's not going to be easy, but also it's not going to be doesn't mean that you should end there just because it's not going to be easy. So be prepared. There are going to be challenges, but there are also going to be lots of benefits in terms of networks, in terms of personal satisfaction when you give back, in terms of the school students performing better, and you'll feel a sense of you've given back. So if you have, at Future First, we support a lot of alumni engagement and a lot of alumni projects. So if you feel there's a way that Future First can plug into what you're already doing, please feel free to engage us as we prepare to plan for our global back to school week in February, which I believe Kelvin will mention a bit of. It's our give back week.
Thank you very much. I'm not going to speak much about back to school week now, but we will contact you about that via email and Facebook and everything else in the coming weeks. So I ran the session on National Alumni Association, and it was very enlightening. So thank you all for being involved in that and giving your ideas. So the first thing that came out very clearly was that the National Alumni Association is not something that Future First is going to own and run, but rather is going to be owned by all of the people in this room. The alumni leaders must take responsibility and will be guided by experts like ourselves and those people that are looking to develop alumni relations across the country. And I think that was really important. The two pieces that came out really strongly were around governance and how the Alumni Association nationally could help each of the individual associations better govern their schools, be involved in their boards of management, and be inputting into the financial management of those schools, because that's something that you guys are clearly very worried about. The other piece of the puzzle that came out really strongly was around training. So there are many associations that are yet to start or are early on in their journey, and how do we support those that have yet to start, develop quickly, and also learn from the mistakes of others. And really, really clearly, as part of that, each of you wants to connect with others, and I mean that's why you guys are all here. But you want to be able to learn from the mistakes that others are making, and in order not to make them again. And then the last part was that alumni can have wider impact than just mentoring or tutoring or sports days. And there was a lot of discussion around what's the wider impact of alumni. I mean, we got into some very interesting topics around sexual reproductive health and how to develop good citizens as opposed to just good students. And I think that bodes really, really well in terms of the National Alumni Association. But very, very clearly, Future First, or whoever is involved in running and leading it, is just going to catalyze this association and not run it, because the owners are definitely going to be the people sitting to your left and your right. So that's from us from now. We'll now invite Esther on stage to give a few closing remarks, capture the day, and we will let you go. You've got about 5 minutes left of listening, and then we'll give you a chance to escape. So thank you very much, guys.
Hi, how are you? Yeah, you can see we are just about closing, and I want to tell you that you are great people. You are out for a great mission, that's why you are here. So congratulations to all of you. I can see a smile. Yeah, that's better. Now, I want to say that it was great to have this forum, this session. It's good that we are here, and we are here for that great mission. I feel like mentioning 5 points within a very short time. Number one, I want to talk about mentorship. I know that in this school, most of the people who are in Nairobi, they may not do so much about mentorship because it has been done. But in the rural areas, see where you can go and do something. I want to tell you, I come from a very dangerous rural area. My going there, just being there like this, when they see me driving, it doesn't matter whether it was a Toyota. To them, it's a motivator. Somebody who was from this school is now driving. To them, it means a lot. When you tell them what you can become, it means a lot. They know only about becoming a teacher. Now they know that you can be something else. You can go there and talk to them about career guidance. Many people do not know what you can become in those schools. Those who are now in town, I think they are privileged. They know all those things. We have that responsibility. The other thing is about volunteer management, as has been said here. Management. There are so many people who are willing to give, but there is no that platform. We are now in that management. All of us here are in that management because we are the ones who can bring people together and bring that kind of a platform where they can give. And then there is the issue of, I want to mention something about secondary school. Many kids get to their 16 years, to that teenage, that very delicate time when they are in secondary schools. And we know one thing, that at that age, that's when a child looks at the parent like they are irrelevant. And I think we also need to come in here. You have passed through that stage. We can talk to those kids. We start preparing them for that age so that when they start feeling those changes, those emotional changes, they are still not getting lost in themselves. They are still identifying themselves. They still know that there is a future. Somebody said that the school they came from is well established. It doesn't need any giving back. He doesn't feel like giving a coin to that school means anything. You can talk to that child. The parent may be paying a lot of money. It's an academy. It's a very private school and all that. But that child is lost in there. The school fees is being paid and that child can come out with nothing. It's us who can talk to that child and tell them, yes, whatever is invested in you is what becomes yours. We are the ones having that mandate. The parent may try to talk to them and they'll feel it's just the way you have been bringing us up, giving us conditions and all that. But we as the peer guidance, we as the people who have been in that school, we can tell them, we pass through these things. Please listen to this and that. And it becomes our mandate. And once you do it, you have helped a child. It doesn't matter whether you give a coin, whether you give an advice, whether just your presence there meant that somebody can succeed. So what I would say as my closing remarks is we are on a great mission and we are blessed. And I want to pray that we shall all be strong and we shall be able to stand all the hindrances. And may God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Esther. I promise I'm the last person to speak, and I'll get out of the way. The only thing there's left to do really is to say thank you. So first and foremost, thank you to all of you for coming and for attending, for the guys that have been watching online as well. Thank you for attending. Thank you for getting involved on Twitter and sending in your questions. And a special thank you to our panelists and our speakers from earlier today. The content has been fantastic, and it's gone really, really well. So a very heartfelt thanks to all of you. The catering staff as well have been brilliant today. Kilimani Primary School has been fantastic in hosting us. The volunteers who are sat at the back chattering away, I want to give another round of applause because they have done a fantastic job and come and helped us. To Abby and Pauline as well, thank you so much. And I'm now going to embarrass Wangari. Where is she? At the back. Can we just give a special thanks to Wangari, who has worked tirelessly to bring this together over the past few months. So Esther has, I think, done a very good job of summarizing a lot of content in just a few minutes. I'm not going to try, but what I do want you to do is just throw out an individual word, a few of you, to tell me how you would describe this day in one word. I have a word in mind, but I'm really interested to hear a couple of words from you guys, just on how you would describe today. So what words would you guys use to describe today? Fantabulous, I like this. Has anybody got any advances on fantabulous? Just shout them out, guys, shout them out. I just want a few words, I'm really intrigued. Uber. You're going to have to explain that one for me. Is that because you want to get a taxi to leave? No. Very good. Last one, anybody else? Accomplished, fantastic. I'm glad that you guys have enjoyed today and got some real value out of today. The word I would use from the speeches, the panel discussions, the World Cafes, and the conversations in between is inspired. I think that I'm really inspired after today that we talked a lot about talk and taking it forward into action. And I'm confident that everybody in this room is serious about taking the ideas and the innovation that's come out in this room forward into action. And that's what really excites me. Today has been great, don't get me wrong, but what the real value of today isn't today or tomorrow, it's next week and next year when people are helping children improve their education and their daily lives through alumni programs rather than talking about helping children in that way. So for that, I'm really, really grateful. We talked a lot about it being hard work, and it is, and we can't give up at the first hurdle, and we must help each other and be a real support community for each and every one of us to ensure that we overcome those hurdles. But at the same time, we also need to have a bit of fun. So the last thing we're going to do, if everyone can get up and join me on stage, we're going to take a picture of everybody that's here to say thank you and commemorate what we said. And anyone that's coming on stage, beware, this is a pledge. I will be calling all of you in the coming year to find out what you're doing, or one of the team will be. So those of you that are serious about having some action, please come and join me on stage, and we're going to get a picture. Those of you that are not can stay seated. So nobody wants to come? Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Back. All of you are ALP, so I know that you guys are doing work. So get up here. We lost the photographer. Sorry? No, I want to have the banner in the photo. So you can come to the side. Yeah, so a few to the side, a few to the side of the... Guys, come to the... Let's move this out of the way. Mr. Photographer, you have to organize everybody. Where do you want people? The front row can kneel down. The front row on the stage can kneel down. And the taller guys at the back. Come. You must kneel down here. You can be involved. Wangari. That's it. You got a chair? Lynette, why don't you kneel down in front so you can still see? Wangari, if you kneel down, you Lynette, kneel in front, and you can see. No, I think we're looking. Guys, you have to pretend like you're excited. Can we have a cheer? 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much.
Guys, this is important and for the offline camera, for the offline recording. Yeah, guys in State House, St. George's, Pangani, Jamhuri, Starehe Boy Center, join on stage. Join on stage. Anybody willing to wait, but the rest you can proceed. There'll be memory line discussion recorded for our offline audience. So if you're in St. George's, Pangani girls, Starehe, State House girls, St. George's, Jamhuri, no, all of you, if you are in those schools, join on stage for a nice discussion recorded for offline audience. This is going to be exciting. Yeah, if you're in Jamhuri, it will take 5 minutes or less. Yeah, but the rest, you are free to go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. St. George's, Pangani girls, St. George's, Pangani girls, State House girls, Jamhuri, Starehe Boy Center, join stage for a very brief discussion.